across the wall, he's knocked up. Look at the damage of the perks. The Emperor's Divide goes back, he pops a Subwatch Elyoya in the midst of them all as he's healed up by Kaiser. Shut down goes over to Armut. There's two as Kaiser takes another. Albami joins, but it's too little, too late. It's roast boar for Mad Lions as they shut down Albami, they shut down Vitality, and they secure the Baron.
Welcome back everyone to the LEC as we are about to embark on our last game of the day. Yeah, we made it guys! I know it was a little bit delayed today, but we are getting into Fnatic versus the Mad Lions. First though, I would like to welcome Cinkrof to the desk, who is also our Kia player of the game. Hey!
Wow. Thank you guys, thank you.
Congrats!
Very nice.
Do you think you deserved it?
Yeah, I think obviously. I think it could be only me this game. I mean, I think I did some good ganks in early game, especially shutting down caps, which I think this is the most important versus G2 probably, shutting down jungle mid. But I think honestly I was playing really bad. I didn't know honestly what to do. The early game, the puffing, I didn't take any scuttler, which is a joke, you know. So yeah, I didn't play good. But yeah, I mean it's still deserved, I guess.
I would say you're really important in the late game team fights, right? A lot of the engage was also dependent on you and whatnot. So I think you deserve some more props than you're giving yourself.
Thank you.
I would very much agree with that. Also, even playing Hecarim, it's not a champion we're seeing much right now. So bringing that out, showing that much impact in mid and late game, pretty impressive.
Yeah, honestly, when you pick jungle in second phase, sometimes it's so hard to find something. Because if you watch LPL, LCK, they always pick like Viego into Wukong, Wukong into Viego, and they only play 2 champions.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in Europe it's not such a thing. I mean, obviously it was banned, but I think a lot of times junglers, they prefer to also pick something else, you know, maybe going back to the comfort. So yeah.
But I also in general feel like it's a little crazy hearing you say, I don't know what I did in that early game, because the early game was once again really, really good coming out from you guys. I feel like you got really good leads, kept the neutral objective stacking going this time around. And then I was having a bet with Lauren, the analyst desk. She was on G2, I was on BDS. Once I reached that 15-minute mark, I started sweating a little bit. You know, mid-game started approaching. I'm like, maybe I'm losing now, but you actually kept it going. And it really felt like BDS is setting a really good foundation. Is this just, you know, more to come from you guys?
I mean, to be completely honest, this is probably the first time in a week when we could play after 20 minutes because every scrim was just disaster.
Oh my god.
But usually you throw after 20 minutes,
guess,
so maybe that's a good thing.
Okay, you want me to be completely honest? I think we didn't do any Nashor in these scrims, you know, throughout this whole week. So when we got Nashor, I'm like, okay, Aggressivo, you did presentation. Explain us, how do you want us to play Nashor? So he was kind of elaborating this in Nexus walk from Nexus. So
Love it.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy, you know, because I think this is what worst team needs, you know, to kind of maybe excel, you know, some confidence, maybe get some lucky in a way wins versus the best teams, and I think we can build it.
Yeah, this wasn't lucky.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like they didn't draft well, you know, in my opinion. So that's the lucky as well, you know, that we had a lot of freedom.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned draft because you're going to stay here for our draft for our next game, which is Mad versus Fnatic. But before we talk about the draft, we got to talk about the battle of the mid lanes. This is also Humanoid's 200th all-time LEC game. Time flies. You know, I can remember when this guy, all he did was get caught in the side lane. And then at one point, he was the best mid laner in Europe. And he's up against Nisqy, and it's their ex-teams. There's so much here, Guldborg.
That's the thing, right? Nisqy was on the bench of Fnatic, while Fnatic wanted Humanoid too. So there's a little bit of history between these two mid laners. And I think coming into at least recent form from week 1, Nisqy definitely being the guy that has been on everyone's mind from the mid lane. Came into the league in a new team like Mad Lions, and it looked like he was implemented in that team forever.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like, seeing how well they played week 1, I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup now, seeing especially how well Elyoya and Nisqy can continue playing as a duo and see if Fnatic can actually match it, because Fnatic has shown a lot of positives, a lot of strengths, but the mid-jungle synergy hasn't always been on point, and this could be one of the areas where Mad Lions can actually get a big advantage.
I'm just happy for Nisqy because I think it's not that easy to be streamer, you know, and then become a pro, you know. Like, this guy was, yeah, like, kind of lost, you know. Like,
He really wanted
benched, you
the
know,
team.
and right
Yeah.
now I don't know. He's very good, you know. Like it's kind of random, you know. But yeah, I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of shares that sentiment. It's someone you want to see on a team. There we saw some images of Humanoid as well. Let's talk about kind of the trajectories they've both gone through, because Humanoid has been at it for a while, but he also took a while to like get to his peak form. And I feel like now he's maybe not necessarily in the place that he would want to be. Obviously, if you win those back-to-back titles with Mad Lions, you want to do a similar thing with Fnatic, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think his career has been pretty interesting in a few ways, because when I played in the LEC, he came in, he was a new player, he was a rookie basically, and slowly him and Larsen started climbing up the mid lane ladder a little bit. Obviously, last year he was one of the best, if not the best mid lane in the league. Spring, things started changing a little bit. He had some ups and downs just like the rest of Fnatic, and it's hard to say how much of it is Humanoid and how much of it was Fnatic just collapsing as a team. But I think more than anything for him, if he can show some consistency, that's going to be so huge for Fnatic, because they've made it clear ever since he joined how important he is, not only for the early game, but just for the entire game as a whole.
Yeah, Cinkrof, do you think the fact that the members of Fnatic have been very vocal in saying Humanoid has brought so much to us in terms of also macro and shot calling and whatnot, Razork in an interview said the same thing. Do you think that's just the fact that they aren't completely on point yet is because there's just so much to adjust to for them?
I mean, to me, when I think about Fnatic, there's like so much career potential on each role, and maybe that's what is kind of their weakness, you know, that there's just too many carries and they don't know actually who is actually supposed to be the carry, you know, the main carry. But I feel like it's perfect meta, honestly, for Humanoid. He was always known from Corki, so I wouldn't be surprised even if today they are blue side, yes, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised even if they
I'm not sure.
First pick it, you know, or just pick it high, you know. So.
But I actually do think you raised a really good point here. The fact that even in one of the more recent interviews, Razork was kind of saying that, you know, we have 5 individually really good players, but they don't really necessarily have one good team at the moment. And Razork always had a style where he had to get himself ahead on Misfits. Now on Fnatic, he's trying to default to a style where he has to play for hungry mid laners, he has to play for an hungry AD carry every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, Razork had to do the big change, you know, because right now he's kind of there like Puppy, you know. He needs to skip the camps, he needs to become maybe like Jankos, you know, kind of style, because I feel like Fnatic is very similar, you know. I think, yeah, it's like honestly almost the same, maybe more craziness in a way, from support especially. But yeah, like you said.
Yeah, they said that an adaptation they made recently is that Razork noticed that all the lanes want to get ahead, so that means that all the lanes also are calling for the jungler, of course, to help them, right? And that's hard.
Honestly, that's the worst, you know, when everyone is kind of messing up with your head, you need to decide what's the best for you, because in the end, this meta is also about farming in jungle a lot, and if you skip camps, you're gonna fall behind, and then if you're gonna fall behind, you can't, you just can't waste time on gank, because we saw today, Zlatan, he tried 2 ganks on bot lane and then it didn't work, and what?
Yeah.
You're useless, you know?
Exactly.
It's always an interesting balance being a jungler, having to find out like how much you can play for yourself, when you listen to your teammates, and yeah, it's always very interesting. Speaking of jungle, Wukong has been banned away. Pretty expected, looking very strong in the games that we do see him in the LEC. Kalista, Corki also gone, now a Gangplank. Guldborg, what are you expecting from this draft?
Well, I actually think it's very reminiscent of some of the drafting we see on NERL scale as well, some of the LFL as well. Corki has been a champion that's risen in priority going into the later weeks, and I think it's more of a scrim thing as well. We see it a little bit in LPL, Doomby lost to champion. I think a lot of Europe teams have started picking it up as well, and it's just due to the fact that there's so much range. Right now, I feel like in terms of drafting, we're in kind of a like rock, paper, scissors scenario. If you go for like 2 short range composition, then champions like a Seer or Corki all of a sudden will be really prevalent because they just stop you from ever team fighting. But then you also get the kind of other niche way is that if there's too much mobility, well, you slam a Viego or you can even slam a Puppy in some instances, although we haven't seen all too much of it. I actually think drafting leads off a lot of creativity. And speaking of a lot of those OPs, Gwen, Lucian, like still so many champions up and available in this draft. It's so overloaded.
I'm actually really excited for the one pick you mentioned, Viego, because I think Nisqy is actually one of the players who can play it and pull it off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like Ahri maybe match up into Viego, you know. But yeah, like you mentioned, they did like good one. Corki, I like it. It's respect towards Humanoid. I mean, and also it's just very strong pick at the moment in any region. But surprisingly, Yuumi is open.
Yeah.
I really think this champion is the most unhealthy champion ever, you know. And I mean,
there
here we go.
Oh, it's Zeri too.
But it's like, I don't know. Honestly, if I would see this, I would say, Grabs, just go next, please. It's just standard, you know, day in the work. I'll just go next, you know, if Grabs would do this draft.
So if you are in this scenario, if you're the one having the Lucian, what do you want Grabs to draft for you for bot
right
lane?
now, I wanted to say I would pick Volibear with really aggressive support. Okay, they picked Nami, but I could also see Pyke, you know, by Hylissang. But I like it a lot. I think the most important right now for Fnatic is to secure some fighting 2v2. I mean, they already did it with Volibear, but yeah, I wonder what Humanoid will pick. He needs to pick, like maybe mid prior, you know, to just play towards bot, and Wunder just pick, I don't know, Gragas, you know. I think this is known. He's known from this champion, so I would say
like a stable top laner, something
exactly.
more aggressive in the other role. Yeah, mid lane.
And going into the second ban phase, like you already have that Lucian, Nami secured. You got an aggressive jungler like Volibear in the early game where you can go through it here. I think like from the side of Wunder, what we might be looking at is something a little more weak-sidey in that end then. Like you still got champions like Ornn, you still got the scaling aspect like GP or Kayle to come in here. Kayle is kind of interesting. It kind of, maybe it's because...
That's interesting, you know, because they were picking this like into tanks when... I mean, I like it with... I like it with one argument because Fnatic needs to play aggressive on bot lane, you know? So you don't really want to camp Kayle because you need to be bot lane to defend this. So if Kayle is left kind of alone, you know, to scale, I think this is just perfect champion, you know, for Wunder. So
one of the things you can say as well is that currently Voice Mad Line's looking for on 4 right now on red side, and could also be that they just want to like off on Ornn coming in here, and they don't want to give it a free laning phase against the Kayle or whatever you kind of have coming up here. Jay Spence comes out too, so it's going to be interesting to see where Mad Lions place their priority in terms of champions picking now, because from the second ban phase, looks like they want to get rid of some of the top laners and then just blind pick a safe top lane as well for themselves, save that counter pick for Nisqy.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that Mad Lions are very good at understanding what's their win condition. And in this game, it's obviously scaling, so they need to defend bot lane. And I think if Wunder would be left in 1v1 matchup with Kayle Jace, it really favors him, yeah? So they don't want to do that. Okay, Ahri, yeah? That's interesting.
So everything is going pretty much like
Viego.
except with the Fiora pick. Now
I love this draft from Fnatic. I really love it. I'm not sure how the top matchup works because it's kind of skilled. So it's kind of skill check, I would say, in terms of auto spacing. But yeah, right now I would just see maybe Lissandra. Just Lissandra from Nisqy?
Yeah.
Oh wait, Lissandra is banned.
Lissandra is gone.
So what are they gonna pick? TF? I don't like it. It's so much
You said
Mercs
before
value, you know?
you wanted to maybe see a Veigar if it was an Ahri, so why would you not have wanted it here?
So, I mean, the thing is, I understand that they need to like defend bot lane, you know, but I just don't like TF with Gwen, Yuumi, Viego, Zeri. It's too much AP damage, and I feel like maybe Yuumi will carry, you know? This cat is very scary, so
But the thing is as well, like I take a look at Mad Lion's composition right now, you really lack engage as well. A lot of it comes through from either finding a pick with a stun card, locking up with Yuumi, just Viego skirmishing. It's not
Fiora,
very reliable, right? It's super difficult playing out. And I think the reason why you get a champion like TF is that you want to bridge mid lane proud down towards the bottom lane, so you have Unforgiven to play for. But in doing so, you also sacrifice a lot of what the entirety of the team composition does. That doesn't mean you don't have windows, but it kind of makes the windows smaller in terms of how you win this game.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
So Cinkrof, you're on the side of the Fnatic draft for this one. Would you give them the win off the draft? Or?
I mean, the thing is, this question is very tough because every time Yuumi is, in the draft, I feel like this question is just impossible to answer because this is just a cut. He gets. This champion is just so unhealthy, you know.
It's a she. I think it is a she. Yuumi. All right, fine.
Sorry,
she would be embarrassed. She would be angry if you.
I would kind of agree that Yuumi is the one that brings like the unknown
but
here.
Broxah, you know it. You are the jungler. You know how unhealthy Yuumi is.
If you're Volibear here on Fnatic, you're pretty excited because you have a lot of volatile lanes, a lot of aggression. There's so many things you can do, which is exactly what you want in Volibear. But you need to make sure the Yuumi doesn't get to scale, because then Yuumi Zeri will take over, and it's going to be a little bit frustrating for you later.
I see this way. Fnatic needs to play towards bot, try to dive even. Mad Lions needs to defend, and we will see, who is better. Because scaling is... Honestly, it's a big question for me. I'm not sure. I mean, Fiora is also really broken, But I would maybe still go for Mad Lions, because if I'm Volibear, later on, I don't know how they play into Yuumi TF. You just get card and you're just dead, So... What, Mercs? Good value. Tenacity, mercs, unflinching, and maybe you can play the game.
I think we have a little bit delay, otherwise I would have tossed already to pick some bets. Do you agree with everything?
Yeah, I think so at least. And I think it also at the same time is that I think coming through with the return ganks as well from the Volibear is going to be really important. I think at times as a jungler, you're faced in a situation where you get free dopamine if you can get full clears, but sometimes you have to skip like one Crocs or like one Grom to actually come in and punish some of these timers. And I think that's one of the things that kind of makes or break good junglers. You need to see these windows, and good communication between the laners are really needed. And that's been one of the challenges for Razork, or something that he's trying to improve on. So I think this can be a little bit of a statement game for him as well, because he needs to improve on this, and he needs to prove that this is a style he can carry on fourth as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if I would be a jungler, I think I just start blue, you know. This game I just take maybe like 5 camps, you know, into bot threat dive, and then if Mad Lions is not there, I mean Elyoya, maybe you spot him somewhere, then I think it should be a dive, you know.
I gave him that tie.
This game will be pretty fun.
Actually, Mac gave him that tie.
Actually,
his
no.
collection.
So sorry, Mike. The tie you gave me has ended up with
Archer I'm wearing a great tie.
I was really thankful for it, though. I appreciate it.
As we are still not in game, beautiful tie once again. Cinkrof, I'd love to ask you about Elyoya, because this is a jungler that exploded, right, in his first season. Where do you think he's at right now, and have we seen his ceiling already in the past, or does he have more to get?
I'm not sure, because he's always surrounded by very good players and very experienced players, I think. So I'm not sure. I think he's very consistent. That's what's very good about Elyoya, that he's very consistent. He's not doing much mistakes, and also he's very efficient in terms of farming, and that's what's important in this meta. Plus, on top of it, he's good at fighting. So I'm not sure about the ceiling. I don't think there's like individual ceiling right now. You could see even like VT, you know.
Yeah.
You cannot do much in this meta. And also in summer, teams are much better. It's hard to cheese ganks. You cannot play 1v9 Thunder roll, so it's like team game, you know, in summer.
And especially for jungle, it's one of the roles that is probably the hardest to judge from the outside, because there's so many small decisions you have to make in the entire early game. You have laners pulling you from different sides, and if you're on a winning team, a team that's doing well, if the structure is there, you have good communication, you're just automatically going to look great as a jungler. Whereas if you're on a losing team, it's a little bit tougher to
I've got one
have a big
counter
impact.
argument. Everyone was praising Cinkrof, even though BDS wasn't getting a lot of wins last split.
Which speaks volumes of
so for
his
Cinkrof.
performance. He's doing very well, clearly.
You know, I think there are some exceptions, you know. So.
Clearly.
No, but like I said, in spring, I think the teams are much worse, and also I got a lot of random ganks in a way that laners just didn't expect. I guess it happened again today.
Yeah.
Caps didn't expect, but I also didn't really plan it, you know. It was kind of freestyle. So, yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready to get into the game. Thank you so much for that insight. Time for Mad versus Fnatic.
Yeah, we're fine. Welcome to the Contest for Game 5. It's Fnatic versus the Mad Lions. Quickshot joined by Dagda as well as Caedrel. Caedrel says he can speak Gaelic, so I'm going to put him to the test in a second.
No. I don't know what it means, so I'm not going to say it.
Quick shout out again to everybody watching. Thank you so much for sticking with us. It's been a challenging day. It's hot here in Berlin. And I just want to say, Gorev Ma Agut to everybody in Berlin. If you don't speak Gaelic, Caedrel will translate.
Yeah. It means...
I didn't write the translation.
Let's have fun.
Yes, that's it. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody. As a little bit more of a common Gaelic sluncher. Now, let's turn our attention to the game. I think immediately I want to jump straight into Twisted Fate, because Caedrel is both Fnatic's blessing and curse.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Twisted Fate is like a champion that echoes through the era of Fnatic. You know, you think back to last year, 2021, Nisqy playing 5 games of TF in a row against G2 to get them to Worlds. And then in spring, Humanoid played 3 games of TF in their playoffs against Rogue. They got reverse swept with TF 3 games in a row. And now, of course, Nisqy's playing against Fnatic, right? So it's almost like an iconic champ that's echoed through Fnatic the last year.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to see Nisqy bringing it out against Fnatic as well. I mean, Nisqy going up against his old organization. I'm super excited to see how this one's going to be. Like, I know it's late, but I'm still buzzing with excitement for this game.
What do you make of the drafts, Dagda? As we can already see Humanoid on the Ahri starting to step forward. We see a lot of similarities. The Fiora pick was definitely something that was celebrated. And then Zeri, Yuumi, going to be a challenge to deal with.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that if Nisqy can actually kind of protect his bottom lane, give this Zeri time to scale up, they should be in a relatively good spot when they get towards team fights. Fiora is actually something we've seen quite a bit in the LPL, like Shelahu has started to play it a lot, even blind picking it in certain situations, because with those buffs on the durability patch, it means that she's actually able to have a good amount of survivability in team fights, surprisingly. So she can bring some things to team fights, but definitely not as much as someone like the Gwen.
Yeah, just looking across the board here, Wunder winning trades top. Humanoid winning trades mid. Looked like Upset was getting a good bot trade and has the push. So 3 pushing lanes right now for Razork to work with. He is sitting on a ward, so Matt do have that information. But it looks like for now, Elyoya is just going to kind of play juggle the lanes, make sure he's there to match any kind of plays that Fnatic want to be aggressive with. But if none of the lanes get too low HP, I think they should be pretty safe. Of course, Armut was the lowest, but they saw the jungler towards bot side.
Indeed, and see the junglers starting to make their clears. And just while we have a brief moment, there was only 2 teams that did not pick up a first Herald during week 1. One of them was Misfits. The other one was Fnatic. Neither team did so. When you look at the objectives here, Drake percentage in favor of Mad Lions, Herald percentage in favor of Mad Lions. Early game as well in terms of gold leads, towers first, but also in favor of Mad Lions. A surprisingly good early game is what our stats team was talking about. Is Razork's going to be on the first gank here. And be flashed away from Nisqy. Well played.
Yeah, nice job from Nisqy to get away from that one. But just on your point very briefly, the reason why we're not seeing a huge amount of Heralds for Fnatic is that they don't tend to actually move Upset and Hylissang towards that objective. It means that they always end up in like 3v3 scenarios or even 3v4, 3v5, where teams have been able to fight them at the Rift Herald, get these early objective leads, get this early gold lead. And it's why we're actually seeing Fnatic tend to start off behind in 15.
Humanoid's going to find the charm. Gold card is still procced. Remember, no flash available. Elyoya will stun
solo kill.
Razork. 1 more hit's needed. It's Hilly with the flash ebb and flow for first blood.
Yeah, Nisqy didn't have vision, but his jungler wanted to contest the top grab. He got a little bit baited by Elyoya there to take a fight, which they had no business in taking because Hilly was just off a base. Razork was already in the bush waiting for Elyoya. And now Humanoid should be able to get this wave in. And if he wants to, I think he can save TP here.
And this is just really good play from Fnatic, playing around their strong mid jungle. Like, with the damage that this Volibear can turn out in the early stages, as well as this Ahri being able to set up with the charm, it is such a potent 2v2. And the fact that Mad were trying to aggress forward, I think was just a big mistake, even with Hylissang coming up.
Yeah, backfires there. This is going to push his wave in, and I do think Humanoid will have to TP back.
I mean, I want to talk about Humanoid for a brief moment, because in terms of the head-to-head, Humanoid has had Nisqy's number 7 wins in favor of Humanoid, 4 of which have come during the regular season. Some higher KD, at least when they're playing against one another. It's just a testament or a signal in terms of how these players go. And the reason I bring that up is whenever you think of Humanoid and Lawson, how evenly matched, how much they trade. But Humanoid versus Nisqy, this is a very one-sided matchup.
Definitely is, and for now it looks that way as well. I mean, you can see the CS numbers. Nisqy's been forced to base. Humanoid can push his wave in, has an experience advantage. As the wave push, Nisqy needs to get to that level 6 and look for plays across side. The issue he has is ulting bot is difficult unless you're focusing Hylissang, obviously because of Upset's cleanse. And ulting top, we might see it happen. The mind game between the stun card and the Fiora W. It's on Wunder to try and bait it out. You'll see maybe Nisqy throw a Q to try and bait it, but it'll be an interesting interaction.
I feel like if there's someone... Oh, nice trade from Upset. But if there is someone that's going to get used out of this Twisted Fate, it feels like it's going to be perfect for Nisqy. I've been so impressed with the way Nisqy is constantly used as priority in the mid lane. Even just getting vision control down, linking up with Elyoya. And it feels like if you're going to lean into that stall for Nisqy, the Twisted Fate is going to be perfect. But he has to be careful as Razork has slipped in again towards his mid lane.
Elyoya knows something's up. He's going to find him. Did use his W to gap close there a bit, so it doesn't have a stun to take the fight. Humanoid is 6 first, so wants to avoid that 2v2 for now, as Armut and Wunder trading quite hard. Ignite up for Armut if he wants to take this all in. Now that Fiora W is down, we'll see which one of them gets towards level 6 first. Looks like Wunder is slightly favored.
I'm so excited to see how this matchup plays out in terms of just the ability to outplay with both respective kits. Wunder and Armut definitely going to be happy to trade back and forth for Armut as well. I think a lot of expectation maybe from Mad Lions fans in terms of how well he's going to perform on this Gwen. I saw a number of tweets last weekend that Armut's champion pool is fantastic. He can play every single skin of Gnaw. And that was where it ended.
Yeah, this matchup is a little bit tough for Armut though, because one of the big things that happened to Gwen coming in onto this patch was the reduction on her E from a 60% cooldown to a 50%, from a 50% to a 60% cooldown on her E means that she doesn't have her E up as often. And that was one of the big changes that actually saw her get drifted back into the meta just before MSI. But also just the armor and magic resist dropping by about 20 as well off the W means that she's going to struggle a lot against not only the true damage that can come out, but these quick trades that Wunder can go for are just super effective.
Yeah, we'll get the wave in, wants to avoid the Wunder level 6, does come in, the wave was stacking in his favor, and we'll get a free base. And you can see Nisqy's coming out of base as well, lots of resets happening across the map, not too much action, no one trying to force an Oni Drake, because I think Fnatic are the ones who could do so with this early bot push. Razork's probably going to hand off blue and then look for that, but then again, Herald could also be a good point of contention when Wunder gets this top push.
I like that we're seeing, though, the way Fnatic have kind of dictated the pace of this early game, right? They get the 2v2 in mid going well for them because they know, look, we're going to have a problem everywhere across the map and using these strong lanes if Nisqy just has the control with the Destiny. So they played through the 2v2, they burned some stuff on Nisqy, and now it means that Razork, when he starts to play on the bot side, doesn't have to worry too much about Nisqy having full push in mid lane, and Humanoid can even try and lean or interrupt the potential Destiny from Nisqy.
Yeah, and just looking at the map here, you talked about it, Dagda, how Fnatic never really moved their bot lane towards Herald. Is Nisqy actually going aggressive top?
Well, the Destiny was used. Wunder's going to throw down the W. Riposte's a lot, but first blood was already secured. The next one coming up. Elyoya, Spectral more to secure the kill. That's the first for Mad Lions. Instant reply, and it was the Destiny play once more.
Maybe a little bit caught off guard there, Wunder. You should have known the TF's ult timer was up, but I was just going to go back to your point before that play happened. The Upset's running straight to bot, of course, wants to catch the wave. It didn't look like they were going to contest this Herald, but then as I say that, the wave in an awkward spot. Now he's running towards the top side, towards mid, so maybe they do want to fight it.
And this is the indecisiveness that's actually been an issue for Fnatic and why we're seeing them drift behind in the early stages of the game, where they don't know where they want to try and put their pressure. And as you can see, Upset, he's just running around like a headless chicken.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's look at the map here, because Fnatic are positioning to contest this, but Upset just ran from here back to the bot wave, so now Razork's just left in a 1 versus 3 awkward situation.
Gonna force use the ulti away. The Ultra Spark doesn't secure the kill. Kaiser does, however. Mad Lions pick up the second kill. Nisqy forced to flash once again under so much pressure.
And this is the same thing that we've seen time and time again, where Fnatic, they try to fight these 3v4, 3v5 situations because Upset and Hilly aren't there. At least Hylissang's here, but Upset isn't.
Oh, Humanoid's gonna get caught up by the Prowling Projectile. Nisqy has some support from Kaiser, but this tower's already lost 2 plates. Fnatic maintain 1,000 gold lead at the cost of another Herald.
Yeah, a couple plates, like you said, in their favor, but just fantastic there by Dagda, just pointing out, just read it like a book. Fnatic, just the way they played the game, and you can see the indecisiveness from them. But Upset does get the pushing bot. Looks like Armut will answer the wave. Unforgiven was top side to help out the Herald. Did lose a lot of creeps for that, of course, but we'll try to pick that up in the top side. Now Wunder space and ran bot, so now we'll see Upset go top, and it's going to be a shift around of lanes. The question is, who wants to start Dragon? And can Fnatic be ready to respond to Mad Lions' Herald? And
that's why I think Unforgiven's actually resetting here. So you're going to see Upset moving top, but they've been bamboozled a little bit because Mad are now going to send the Zeri down to the bot side because they want to try and use this Herald in the mid lane to crack it open to look towards Dragon. So honestly, Mad Lions have just been doing a really good job just as far as just moving around the map better.
As you say that, it looks like Unforgiven will go back to collect top. So maybe it looks like they want a Herald top. We'll have to wait and see. Regardless, the most important thing now, I think, is Nisqy's TF ult. We'll see when that one comes back up. So far, he's 1 for 1 on plays made. A lot of the times we see TFs either ult to a lane, it's a disaster. They never ult, or every single ult just magically works. So Nisqy's on one of those trains right now. Let's see if he keeps it up. We'll see if they play towards the top side of the map, which we expect. I guess then Fnatic would look to cross-map bot.
It just seems really weird, though, that we're not seeing Zeri for Unforgiven push in the top side, right? Because Gwen is already shown in the wave, so they know chances are Unforgiven's on this top side. So you could actually push this wave, use Nisqy's Destiny to work up towards a potential top side dive with the Rift Herald play, but you can see Zeri now starting to push the wave, so it looks like we might still get that play. It's just a case of Nisqy will need to try and clear this wave ASAP mid lane so we can look for that potential dive on top of it.
So make a little bit of sense of this for me, because Fnatic's gold lead is now slowly starting to get chipped away, as Elyoya will have the backup of Kaiser. Unforgiven's stepped a little bit further forward. That Ultra Shock could be thrown through the wall.
Nisqy?
Do they decide to engage? 1, 2, 3 members of Fnatic in the bottom half of the map. Elyoya's going to look for the W. There goes the Destiny gold card. The chapter is final, and we'll be able to find the kill. Elyoya with the second of the game. Option 3, every Destiny works. That's currently the train that Nisqy's on.
Yeah, and falling prey to a play which I think Mad was quite obviously setting up, a stacking top wave, a pink ward in their own tri-bush. Nisqy was missing. They're going to collapse top and they're going to go for more.
Remember, cats eat fish all the time. That prowling projectile slowed Hilly down, forced a flash to safety. Wildcards are chucked out. Elyoya continues to chase. Razork's ultimate has been a retreating tool this entire game. Nisqy's going to be able to sidestep that tidal wave.
Wow.
Tower was secured in the top lane, and Mad Lions extend the gold lead, 1,300. Unforgiven is now pulled into the fight. Upset steps into the river. Razork goes low. Aqua Prison not going to find anyone. The culling chipping away, but not enough damage. Kaiser steps out to body block, throws out the exhaust. That's a kill now onto Razork as Upset's running for his life. Another follow-up onto Hylissang, and Mad Lions are wrecking Fnatic.
That looked like a fantastic collapse from Fnatic. You invested TP from Humanoid, Upset's flanking. It looks like a 4 versus 3, I believe, in the favor of Mad Lions, but it all just backfires.
Yeah, now you end up with the charge on the top lane tier 1, so that takes the tower there. You've got Armut pushing in the bot side. You will lose the mid tower here for Mad Lions, but that's not really a big issue because realistically, you're going to end up sticking Armut and Nisqy in the side lanes now, and you're just going to be able to use the pressure that you have from the Twisted Fate to push in mid as you like.
Yeah, so it's a 3-man play right now. It turns into some kind of 3v4 until Unforgiven arrives. The important thing here is they don't have the Yuumi ult and they don't have the Viego ult, so this 3-man is just collapsed on. Upset's basically 1v2ing the backline. Razork goes in a bit too early, but he needs Mad Lions to stay around. And Mad Lions go forward. Look at Upset against Elyoya and Kaiser. He's exhausted, he has to flash away. And the second the resets come in, it's just lights out for Fnatic.
I mean, just such a good job here from Mad Lions, and this is something that I think they've been exceptional at. We actually pointed out is that, like, Nisqy has been so good at using his priority in the right ways, moving around the map, linking up with Elyoya, looking for plays where they can, and now they start to get the ball rolling on these picks. 5 kills, 2-1, and it looks like we got even more movement up towards this top side.
Can we take a look at this? Unforgiven and Elyoya starting to pop off. Unforgiven farming up 2-0-2. Elyoya 2-0-2. Humanoid, the sole member of Fnatic, he's trying to push back. But I think a lot of credit to Kaiser on this Yuumi being on the right place at the right time. He's got that Moonstone Renewer already completed, involved in 4 of the team's 5 kills, and he really has been influential in setting up those kills that Mad Lions have secured.
And this Yuumi's only going to get deadlier and deadlier, and the problem that Fnatic have is Yuumi can sit on so many different targets. Viego, Yuumi, extremely powerful. Viego, Gwen, extremely powerful. I mean, even the Zeri, which is drafted for, right? So doesn't matter who's fed on Mad Lions or who's alive, the Yuumi will just jump between these carries and they'll make plays happen around the map. Razork.
Oh, gets chunked out. Another defensive ultimate. Is that going to be the call? My word, Stormbringer is used to just run for his life. Mad Lions are bullying Fnatic everywhere.
And I love that they're doing this on the bot side a minute before the Rift Tower comes up as well. So now Armut gets to get a ton of presence on towards this bot side. You get to reset in time so you can actually contest the Rift Herald on the top end of the map as well. But you now have options to go, right, if Fnatic try to full commit towards this Rift Herald, we can start to take a lot bot.
And Charm is going to tag up at least one. Humanoid managing to stay alive. Elyoya chunked very, very low, but he cannot continue the chase, and the tower will fall as well.
So given the game state, Mad Lions obviously, of course, in the driver's seat. I think the thing they need to be very careful of is over-chasing. I think over-chasing into the Lucian Nami, them kiting you back, over-chasing to a Fiora flank, you know, and you get turned on by the Ahri. They need to make sure they get that one pick and move forward slowly, like they did in the 4v4 in the top side jungle previously. But if they go too deep, that could come to bite them back. You see Humanoid trading on Armut. Armut's a little bit too aggressive here, overstaying for a wave, a bit greedy.
He's going to be able to put down the engage and sidesteps away from that Charm. Humanoid committed the flash as well.
And Fnatic committed 3 members, almost 4 as well, with Upset on the Raptors to this bottom side. So you look at where Mad Lions are committed. Cool, we're just going to move in towards Rift Herald and start to take that one.
It wouldn't surprise me if Hilly just throws an ult over this wall in a second just to try and cancel his base again. I mean, which is such a Hilly thing to do. But anyway, he's going to try to get a little bit of vision for his own team. Of course, like you said, Trevor, 30 seconds on this dragon. Looks like Fnatic are setting up through bot.
Caedrel, Dagda, if I'm a Fnatic fan, how worried am I? They're down 1,300 gold, but they have a dragon. They're down 4 kills, and it feels like they're being bullied, but they're even on towers, so it feels scarier than it might be.
Yeah, I think the big one is just opening up the map here for Mad Lions is so crucial. If you can get this mid lane turret down, right now you get the push in mid, Nisqy starts to float around the map, he can just hide out of vision, and any lane that you show up to, you're going to cause issues for Fnatic. Like, you can link up with Armut super well, Unforgiven and Kaiser can chase you down if you can get the setup for Nisqy, so, and even just denying access to River is going to mean that it's so much easier for them to go for objectives. So I kind of wish Mad Lions would move away and just look for Rift Herald instead of trying to contest this dragon.
Looks like we'll have a fight here. Armut is on the side, Fnatic siding up the dragon. Elyoya's in the vicinity.
Almost stepping all the way forward, secured by Mad Lions, and once again, Razork using that Stormbringer to safety, but Mad Lions just brute force their way in and take the objective.
Definitely doing it. It's Armut of all people who get it. 2 smites in the pit. Armut is the one who gets it. But just going back to your point about how worried should you be as a Fnatic fan, it's not the end of the world. I mean, they're still 3 dragons away from a soul point, so you've got around 15 minutes to work with. Lucian, Nami, Fiora can be deadly when they hit their item breakpoints. Mad Lions will get the Dragon and the Herald though, so we'll see how quickly they decide to accelerate this game, because they have the tools to do so, right? They can always overcommit numbers onto one side. And even the worst case with, using the TF ult 4 versus 3, 4 versus 2, whatever it may be, they can always TP back to cover the cross map. So Fnatic have this really awkward issue where they cannot really make a play of their own.
And that's why I feel like you need to try and make a play on top side here before you get the reset in from Nisqy. If you can start to disrupt the tempo, then maybe you have an opportunity to stop Mad Lions from being able to push in mid, then look for it. But you can see there, Nisqy does just push in top. He's going to be able to back off, but these are the tiny windows you can kind of work with Fnatic, but it's so hard to make happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only vulnerable point for Mad is Nisqy. I think if Humanoid and Razork overcommit top, then Mad Lions contesting a mid wave, you can get the 2v1 and get the kill, but the problem is if you come in onto Armut, TPs will come in. We'll see Elyoya, Kaiser sprint down there, so it either needs to be a full commit from Fnatic on one side, or they need to look for Nisqy. We'll see how they dissect this map.
We'll have to find out. I mean, look, we're a little bit past the early game, but coming into this matchup, Razork and Elyoya, slightly different looking as far as week 1 performances go. And of course, expectations. And then Elyoya, we need to try to find a way to shut down Razork's jungle proximity a little bit higher, gold difference a little bit more positive, but it's worked out. I mean, Elyoya's Viego this game, 2-0-2. It feels like every time he's shown his face, it's worked out in his favor, and once again, stepping all the way forward. I think that was the destiny thrown down by Nisqy. 3 minutes to go until the Drake, and that will be just to catch this wave mid. While that's going on, the rest of Mad Lions are grouped around the mid lane. Armut was shoving out bottom. You still get that TP if anything happens.
Yeah, they were trying to see if they could bait out Fnatic here. Maybe they pushed that a little bit too far mid and they could look for the pick. But I think it's just about trying to draw out Fnatic across the map first before you make that happen. Especially since you have the Rift Herald there, you can always very quickly collapse around that objective. And once Fnatic have to deal with, as you can see, Nisqy in the side lane here.
Was that the first quote-unquote failed Destiny? I feel like almost every other one has led to a positive play or a kill here. But Nisqy, they didn't garner anything. They got some information, of course. They pushed the waves out. It's, still keeping this gold lead very close.
This is the problem the Fnatic have. They're going 5-man bot, but for what? Unless you're diving this, which you can't because they have TP on TF and they're leaning bot with their mid jungle, with their bot lane and jungle. What are you really achieving? There's no dragon. There's no objective in the next. The walls will expire before the dragon spawns, and now you have to invest a TP to defend your top tier 2. So I feel like Fnatic playing to the wrong side of the map, perhaps.
I definitely agree, but I think there's also small errors coming through from Mad Lions as well. Like right now, they're not really getting much in the way of vision control down. You can see no pinks, no actual wards to place down in their back pocket. So they're starting to get a little bit here, but they need to try and keep the map line from Fnatic.
Well, right now, Mad Lions, they've grouped up and will secure their 3rd tower of the game. All outers taken out. Armut's going to be able to escape with his life for 1.5 minutes until the next dragon spawns. It is a Mountain Soul that we are playing for. Rift has opened up a little. This could prove helpful for Mad Lions if they're able to use this Destiny. Hylissang and Wunder now making the steps towards Armut.
Yeah, this is the 3rd or 4th time that Hylissang ran behind Wunder to try and catch out Armut. I mean, if he throws on the wave with an E around him, then I think Armut will know that the Nami is in the vicinity. I mean, Hylissang's just going to decide to back away. Maybe he's just trying to cover any play that Mad Lions might do, because I think the way that TF works, the power of TF is, obviously, if he pushes out top and then he bases in fog, you can never really contest bot waves, because until TF shows on the next top wave, like right now, Wunder has to be scared of a TF ult. When he shows on that top wave, then he can walk up, so that's the power of TF.
And that's the play that they attempted to make in the mid lane, but because Fnatic didn't feel pressure anywhere on the map because the waves hadn't been pushed in, but then they didn't have to respond to top wave, right? They were just like, hey, look, we'll actually just try and match the potential for this Nisqy play and make sure they're not able to get it. So it was that, quote-unquote, failed Destiny. But now that you're starting to get Nisqy pushing top with 45 seconds until the dragon, you can either, again, trade, second dragon here over towards Fnatic for potential top tier 2.
So what happens here? Nisqy is going to push out that top wave, expecting him to base, looking for that rapid fire cannon and spike before the dragon spawns. We'll see if he has it. Fnatic will get the mid push for now, so that means they can get control over this area of the river. Going to take a pink board. Yes, he does get the rapid fire. So now I think Nisqy can obviously pull the cheat card of I will just use Destiny to get vision around the objective straight away, so I can face check pretty easily. And Elyoya and Kaiser on a flank, I don't think they were spotted.
You do need to be careful though, because just in an upright battle, Humanoid will deal more damage than Nisqy. Wunder's going to do relatively well as well, so you just need to be careful, especially if Elyoya gets caught out.
Oh, well, Elyoya's being pushed away. Skullcrab will be secured. Kaiser is riding alongside. Final chapter could be very powerful, and look at that Ultra Shock laser
Nisqy.
already. 2 items completed. Gold card is about prime. Destiny was used. 3 members of Fnatic chasing forward. That's the engage that Razork's been looking for. Jumps down and trying to bite off Nisqy's head. Finally, Humanoid takes him out. While that's going on, Wunder's the focus of the rest of Mad Lions. Final chapter thrown out, rooting him down in place. That's for 1-for-1. Unforgiven now fighting on 3 members of Fnatic.
Oh,
While that's going on, Hylissang's the target. He should get run down. Heartbreaker used by Elyoya and Armut, and this will open up the dragon.
It definitely will, so that's going to be a dragon for Mad Lions. We'll see if they push for a bot tier 2 as well. Armut has enough time to try to chip that down if he so chooses to, and I think Fnatic, very good decisiveness to go instantly onto Nisqy, but the backline just couldn't keep up.
And that was the big difference maker there. Razork flashes in, but there's no real follow-up. Hylissang gets completely left out alongside Upset, so you don't actually have the damage to follow up, and suddenly it's a super spread out fight that Mad Lions are able to clean up.
Definitely is. They get themselves a dragon. Armut's just going to get the Krugs. Everyone's going to back away and they're going to regain tempo on the map. So let's just look at this again, because Nisqy is the one to pop the ultimate, because Fnatic are already in a bad position here. They need to find their way back towards this dragon, but also get some vision on the map. They see Nisqy. Everyone, let's go on Nisqy. But look at Wunder and Hilly. How can they follow that? You just left them alone. So now Elyoya decides, hang on a second, let's turn on these two. They're alone. It turns into a 3v2, so 2 fights happen. Nisqy dies, but Elyoya with the Yuumi just gets the reset.
With the amount of mobility that Mad Lions have, it's just impossible to try and keep up. And Fnatic, I mean, that could have actually been the play, but unfortunately now another dragon goes over towards Mad Lions. They get more gold, more control on the map as well. And you've got to now start questioning for Fnatic, like, how are you going to try and slow this? Because this tempo in this game is just getting out of control.
I mean, itemization-wise, a couple members of Mad Lions already had 2 fully completed. Going into that previous fight, I think Wunder only had 2. See the Death Dance picked up, Rapid Fire Cannon, Phantom Dancer, Unforgiven's already on the next BF sword. Looking towards 3rd item, and Mad Lions again maintaining control. The CS advantage for Armut in the top lane is significant. The gold advantage for Unforgiven due to the kills is significant. Despite the fact Nisqy's behind, he's just the setup here for Mad Lions.
Yeah, and he's also the pressure point. Just look what he's doing. He's just going to sit in Fog of War. Make sure he's not showing. And as long as he's not showing, Fnatic can't walk up.
So that's the important thing. Nisqy catching waves, but also kind of disguising himself to hide himself on the map. You know, right now he's just sitting on Raptors. There's the second Fnatic walk up, he's going to pop ult.
Wow, huge kudos there to the observers. 100% in sync with Caedrel, swapping the vision. That's the engage here from Razork. Armut's coming in from behind with the last chapter. Gold card, stunning up. Hylissang, he gets taken out Unforgiven on a rampage, but it was at the cost of Elyoya's life. Razork and the rest of Fnatic, they find themselves 1.
Yeah, actually a good play from Fnatic, because they're the ones that get a shutdown, and Hylissang falls, so we'll see what Fnatic can do with this. Maybe they can go towards the top side, take a crab, get a little bit of vision, push out this mid wave, because Mad Lions, without their jungler, maybe have to back off here. Armut's going to bot wave, and I think they see that.
And again, though, we're seeing Nisqy try and make these plays with the Destiny where he is hiding Fog of War. That is fantastic, but the thing is, you don't have pressure on side lanes, so there's no reason for Fnatic to actually be spread out so you can look for uneven fights. You're constantly seeing it happen when Fnatic are able to match the plays.
I think he's going to TP out. He's going to TP out here. He should be fine. It would be pretty funny if maybe he TP'd towards Nash and they forced it or something. That would be definitely the best bait and switch I've ever seen. But of course, they didn't have vision on Upset. I don't even think they know that Lucian is on the bot side of the map.
But look at the vision in the bottom quadrant. Mad Lions have pushed 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 wards because of this invade.
But again, look at where Fnatic are positioned on the map, right? They know there's no pressure on side lanes, so they just group as 5 in mid. So when Mad Lions go to make this play, Fnatic are there to match. And this is the power of Twisted Fate, is forcing uneven fights because you can close the distance on the map far faster than your opponent. But we're not really seeing Mad use that to full effect.
Yeah, the plan was good, but I feel like the execution could have been better. Elyoya going way too deep, way too early. Should have waited for Armut to come around the side. I think he kind of gave himself up a bit too early in the fight so that Razork could focus him down with the rest of Fnatic. Ends up in a 1-for-1, but Mad Lions still controlling the map. It looks like they've swapped it up. Armut having used TP as to escape. Now they're a bit worried that him sitting bot, that Fnatic could try to burst down a Baron, so they're going to put Nisqy down there instead. Doesn't relieve the pressure too much. His drop will still be the same, but they will know that he's on the bot side of the map.
I'm not like the biggest, like for Nisqy, he's not going to be able to go toe-to-toe against Wunder, right? But I do like the fact that you have the Twisted Fate on bot side, because you can always just rush the Baron here as Mad Lions. Between a Gwen, a Viego, the damage that's going to come through from Unforgiven as well, like you can take down this objective so fast. So having this Twisted Fate who can just wave clear against Wunder, while also keeping a ton of pressure on Baron, can cause quick TPs and mistakes to come through from Fnatic.
The only problem Mad have with this is if Fnatic play 5-man bot, Armut can't TP, so they can force a numbers advantage for once in this game, so they can force bot dives. The only thing they have to be careful of is, like I said, Mad Lions going towards Baron. You know, Nisqy can just ult up there, uses ult, they can rush it down, and Fnatic run the wrong side of the map. But if Fnatic juggle it correctly, they should get a bot tier 1.
But that's the thing, right? Fnatic try and commit those members bot side, and instantly Mad Lions are responding. They push in mid, get the pressure there. Armut's pushing in top side, and now they should get the tier 2 for the tier 1 trade. Even look at Nisqy as well. He's now starting to roam and going to see if he can make these picks happen with the Destiny.
Caedrel, Dagda, you guys are so enthralling to listen to when you look at the options available to both of these respective teams. As it stands, both squads pushing on other sides of the map. 4 towers to 3, 2.5k gold lead for Mad Lions. It has remained there for about 10 minutes, and we are 30 seconds from the Dragon with the teleport being used.
Yeah, Humanoid is just trying to pre-TP before the objective spawns so that maybe he can look for a pick. He's got a very good position. He TP'd to a pink, and that shows on the minimap. But it doesn't look like Mad spotted it, or did they? Because they're going towards Baron. Maybe they think Fnatic want to start this up, and they're just going to go Baron anyway. There's only one pink. That'll spot Armut, so they should know. Fnatic should know that this is happening.
Dagda called this one. He talked about how quickly this can get burned down. Baron's HP below 10,000. Fnatic making their way in. Nisqy's going to TP in as well. 5 members.
I think it's gone.
I think it's gone.
Yeah.
I think it's gone. Fnatic, it's too little, it's too late, you're not going to arrive. That is secure.
Can they take the fight?
Up now. Tidal wave is used. The engage from Razork. 1 down already. Elyoya is removed from the fray. Teleport coming in from Wunder. He's going to need to lunge over the wall, and he does so. 4 members of Mad Lions trying to escape. Humanoid's going to look for the charm. Can he find the target? Armut's going to be able to sidestep it away. Unforgiven with the speed up from the Zoomies helping out. Wunder with the riposte buys time. Goldcard finally stuns him out. Armut's going low. Ebb and Flow will not find the kill, and Unforgiven is firing off the surges. They lose 1, but they get Baron.
I mean, Baron with its dying breath tries to give the fight to Fnatic, knocks up Mad Lions, but unfortunately Fnatic can't collapse fast enough, and that's what we're talking about, the ability for Mad Lions to quickly take this objective, and Fnatic get caught with their pants down.
And now it's the sprint race towards Dragon, which was the main objective in this whole fight towards Baron. Mad Lion just playing the bait and switch. They're on the way to contest it. I mean, Unforgiven hit a breaking point of hitting Infinity Edge. That's why they forced Nash. The problem is Elyoya is just coming out of base. Looks like Fnatic will pick it up for free. Can Mad Lions collapse on them regardless? Doesn't look like they have any waves to play on.
Doesn't look like they want to either. With their Baron buff on 4 members, there's a couple of minutes to play for. They have to catch a wave in the top lane. Armut stepping forward. Final chapter is not available, so there's initiation tools on the actual. Elyoya is the only one with an ultimate up. Fnatic, they managed to get themselves to Dragon. They keep it close, but they are still behind. They are still the ones under pressure.
Yeah, look at the items. Humanoid so close to Rabadon's. Upset so close to Infinity Edge. They're waiting for these spikes, and then they will strike.
5 members of Mad Lions pushing towards this bottom lane. Empowered minions pushing onto the turret. I think by the time Fnatic gets you, he will have fallen. All of a sudden, Humanoid upset. They step through those base gates to hold onto it for now. Aqua Prison sidestep. Tower number 5 secured. Mad hit and run. They get the tower. And now they start to get out.
And we're seeing the push and pull of the win conditions on both these sides. Fnatic really wants to start getting these dragons so they can force fights where they're trying to see if they can be stronger and actually going 5v5 versus Mad Lions. Whereas for Mad Lions, it's all about trying to take towers. They want to try and close the distance on the map that Fnatic actually have control of. And that's why they get bot terror. Now they're starting to push in mid, use this Baron buff to the best advantage that they can.
Razork threatening the engage, holding onto the chem tank though. Man, that Ultra Shock does so much damage. Firing all the way through the wall. The minion wave will be cleared out here, and keep in mind, Nisqy's not with the team. He's still got that Destiny available, but he's pushing that minion wave top. The Red Bull Baron power play is doing work. Culling starts to chip away, and Unforgiven. The Ultra Shock fight once again. Nisqy's still top lane.
I think that's fake pressure from Upset. He's trying to Culling to force them back. We'll see if Mad Lions fall for it. I think they should just stay and just keep pushing, not really be afraid of this. Upset really wants to force them back so he can base for Infinity. So Humanoid can base, but Mad Lions know it.
They really do. The damage difference between Upset and Unforgiven is massive. Here comes Nisqy. Go on the back line. He's buying some time with that hourglass. The tidal wave thrown out. The tower will go down.
Elyoya.
There's already one onto Wunder. The follow-up onto Upset. Humanoid will be the next target, and Razork is chucking out lightning from behind. The charm will find one as Humanoid finally gets locked up, stunned down, and killed. Mad Lions find 3, and they can look to open the base.
How much damage can they do to this base? They have a top wave. Armut's pinging it, but Mad Lions' health bars are quite low. Kaiser should be able to heal them up. It looks like a mid and top in it, but right now they're just only committing to mid.
Yeah, they're trying to swap around the map. You play off of all the waves. Razork is here, but you got such long dead timers. They're just looking for the end.
Mad Lions are looking to pick up the win. They set their sights to the Nexus Tower. Razork in
Wunder in 5.
The last one's alive. 4 seconds for a Wunder. Nexus Tower number 2 starting to fall. Mad Lions are running a little low. Razork is still alive. Here comes Wunder. Lunge as one's going to change finally. It's on a cooldown.
Oh, Wunder!
Just hit. He finds a kill.
The Nexus! The Nexus! The Nexus!
A couple more hits, and Mad Lions do it. Under the pressure, Mad Lions take down Fnatic.
What a fantastic game from the Mad Lions, playing so well around this twisted fate, finding the picks they need, finding building their momentum and taking down Fnatic.
Mad Lions did not give a damn what Fnatic did that game. They didn't give a damn about Humanoid's Ahri in the middle lane, and frankly, they didn't care what they did on the Rift. They swatted away every single threat and just won the game on their turn.
And that ending there, Fnatic wanted to force pressure that was non-existent. It was almost like empty pressure, hollow pressure to make you think that they have some kind of way to force to make you back so they could base and get Rabadon's and Infinity Edge. Mad Lions read them like a book. They said, hang on a second, you're not winning an Oscar, boys. They re-engage on them, and they just end the game from it.
And it's Mad Lions, it feels like turning over a new leaf. They're taking down the curse that was Fnatic. Nisqy playing absolutely fantastic here, but coming back to the form that we saw from them in 2021 where they were that back-to-back champions. This was the Mad Lions that were able to have that form, and they're looking to find it once more.
Wow. Oh, the Mad Lions celebration.
The celebration is back.
I think it's because it's quite late in the evening.
It's quite late.
They're all very tired.
For everybody at home, you may be surprised to learn that the 18 times Mad Lions and Fnatic have faced off against one another, Mad Lions have won 11 of those games. That includes tonight. They have a winning head-to-head. That was a really strange game to actually shoutcast because it felt really tense. It felt like it was close. It felt like Fnatic could have done something, but in retrospect, Mad Lions were dictating the pace and the control. Despite it being close, it didn't matter what Fnatic did.
I think the pressure of TF was too much. Fnatic just couldn't find a play where they were comfortable. Whether it was picking out Nisqy, whether it was over-committing numbers on one side so that Nisqy, even if he responded, they could still win the fight. There was never a moment where he thought that Fnatic found the right play.
Yeah.
But I think it just shows Mad Lions kind of doing the preparation, right? Fnatic, I think, have struggled in these early neutral objective fights, particularly around the Rift Herald, and we could see that that's where this game really blew open. Mad Lions kind of going, hey, you know, they're not going to coordinate correctly around this. Let's take something that can, you know, use that to our advantage and find the picks around that.
I mean, for Mad Lions, player of the game nominees at LEC, Elyoya, Nisqy, and Unforgiven.
This roster, it just looks revitalized. I just want to jump in and say, wow, this version of Mad Lions is unbelievable.
Fantastic performance. I'm still flabbergasted by that because, yes, like it was really, really well executed. It was really well played. But at no point did Mad Lions feel threatened. You talked about the Baron threat. The moment that there was a safe opportunity to do so, they secured it. And Fnatic just did not have an answer.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing. Like, this is a style that I think suits Nisqy incredibly well. Yeah. Like, the ability to control the map off of his lane priority, how he can link up with Elyoya. Like, this is kind of the perfect composition to show why Nisqy is such a potent mid laner. I think he showed us so well here on the Twisted Fate.
He did indeed. I hear that we are going to break now. Just one last shout out to everybody in Berlin. Shout out to all the players. It is 1 a.m. We will be back with more casts tomorrow. And Dagda, good cast in front of your first live audience. You were indeed not shit. We'll see you on the other side with Post Game Lobby.